Beloved high school football coach gets fired from being a coach. Why, you might ask? Did he steal something? Did he abuse someone? No. He baptized 20 of his players after practice, and now he's getting fired from being the coach for baptizing them. And the crazy part is, you can come out as a transformer, you can do all these other things, you can dress as a woman and read books in the kids' library and be a hometown hero, but apparently if you baptize 20 students, you now get fired. This is a crazy story we're gonna look at. And I'm gonna show you later a really bizarre story of a teacher that's still working for the school district after doing something very vile and very disgusting. Stay with us as we jump into this story. Okay, let's look at this story. High school football coach fired for holding baptism service for 20 of his players after practice under the pretense of religious coercion. And then it's going to show the story. A Georgia high school football coach was fired after he held a baptism service for 20 of his players last month. The superintendent of Parental County High School announced coach Isaac Ferrell's firing after a video uploaded to the team's official Facebook page showed players being baptized in a tub by a local pastor. And then it says, you know, he baptized them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The pastor then ducks his head, dunks their heads under the water while surrounding cheer and support. And then people were outraged, which I'll talk about. There's him. That's him right there. I also want to show you a video of the news covering this. So they claim that he was violating the Constitution, which we're also going to look at the U.S. government website, by basically saying you're not allowed to be doing this. You can't be instructing on religious terms and on religious things. So let's watch this here, and we'll kind of react to this video. This is the news coverage of it, so you can kind of see. And then we're also going to hear from one of the parents whose son was being baptized. Did the parents feel like he's being coerced? And you know what's crazy? You can, at your public school today, change the kid's identity. You can tell the kid, hey, you're now a girl, you're now a boy. Don't tell your parents. We'll change your name at school. We won't tell your parents. And be fine and be celebrated, but it's okay to baptize. I covered a story where the school was literally changing kids' identities and telling them, you don't have to tell your parents. You can be a boy at school and a girl at home. And the mom got mad finding out the school was doing this, and the school had no backlash. So that's okay now. But apparently, baptizing kids and being a coach is not okay. Like, that's the bad part. And this will be the continual criticism and persecution we're going to see in schools and for the church as the end times continue. This is just another sign that Christianity will not be tolerated. And we're going to see more and more people getting fired for their faith, fired for not doing weddings and doing cakes for LGBTQIA plus 4.3.0 marriages and weddings and stuff. And I'm going to show you later another teacher that didn't get fired and is absolutely vile. But let's watch this and we'll react to it.
Our top story at 6, a Parental County high school football coach has been fired. It comes nearly 3 weeks after he held a Christian baptism for some of his players after practice.
Now we're hearing from the school district and
by the way, if you know anything about baptism, people don't get forced to be baptized. So they're saying like this is him pushing it on, which is the First Amendment, and you don't force someone to get baptized. It's a choice they make.
Parent of one of the student athletes who was baptized. WSCV's Kaylee Fetco is live outside Parental County High School. She talked to school officials and parents today and shares what she's learned.
That's right, Tina. Isaac Ferrell was terminated from his position as head football coach here at Parental County High School. Coach Ferrell has been very vocal about his Christian beliefs on social media and said in a Facebook post he orchestrated the baptism. Take a look.
I baptize you now, my brother, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Wow, that is beautiful. Does it look like he's forcing them? To me, it looks like they're clapping, they're cheering, they're excited. The boys are grown. You know, these are high school boys. As you can see, these boys look like grown men out here. And he's baptizing them, and this is what he's fired over. He loses his job because of this, because of baptizing people, which the Bible tells us to do. So, like, are you infringing on our religious rights to baptize people? But of course, if this was any other religion, he'd be fine. If he was a drag queen, we wouldn't be having this argument. He'd be celebrated and getting awards probably by the school. It's just crazy.
Those are Parental County high school football players being baptized. 20 of them were baptized by a local pastor in a ceremony after a practice on October 23rd behind the high school football field at the behest of head football coach Isaac Ferrell. He has since been fired from that position, but is still employed by the district as a teacher.
So he's fired from being the coach, but he's still allowed to be a teacher.
Tifa Johnson's son is a sophomore on the football team and was one of the athletes baptized that day.
So that's her son. Okay, so let's hear from the parents what they think about her kid getting baptized.
Extremely proud of him. Yeah. Because he made the decision on his own. I didn't have to hold his hand, and he did it because he wanted to do it.
She says she found out.
Extremely proud because he made the decision on his own and he wanted to do it. I don't understand this. Parents are excited, proud. Now these kids, they don't want to drink, they don't want to party, they don't want to do drugs. Their life has changed. Yet the coach is in trouble for what? Seeing their life get changed, for encouraging them to walk with Christ? I'm confused.
From a Facebook post from the football team.
It was so sweet because you see the boys and they looked like they wanted, like it was okay, you know? Like everyone looked excited from the ones I was able to see. So I was cheering, like, yes, thank you, God. Yes, yes, yes. I was all for it.
The reaction to the ceremony has not been all positive, with the Freedom from Religion Foundation denouncing the ceremony in an article, saying it's illegal.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation. Oh yeah, that's really where we want to be getting our advice from. That sounds just like the Satanic Temple. They say freedom from religion. So yeah, they have a lot of good stuff to say, I'm sure. Freedom from Religion Foundation. Very credible source.
Under the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. As for whether the baptisms led to Ferrell's termination, that's unclear. Tattnall County School Superintendent Christian Water.
Of course that led to his termination. Like, that's unclear. He baptized them, then got fired. Of course this is why they terminated him.
Telling me in a statement he was terminated following an incident after a football game on November 3rd, and that the district is looking for a coach that aligns with the best interests of Tattnall County students. Johnson says she and her son are heartbroken by Coach Ferrell's termination, saying his faith made him a good role model.
Well, I get that, but what about the ones that do believe?
Preach.
Like, why should they have to miss out on a spiritual leader because somebody else may not agree, you know? Because our children need it. It takes a village to raise children.
Come on.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation telling me in a statement, quote, "We're glad they're looking for a new coach who will abide by his."
Some bored dude in his office from the Religious Freedom whatever trash foundation was sitting there typing a huge email out to the school saying, "We're glad that you guys are looking for a new coach to abide by constitutional duties." Like, bro, are you really that bored that you have to get other people fired because you don't want Christianity to grow? You don't want people to get baptized? Like, so demonic.
Constitutional duties.
Superintendent Waters tells me Ferrell is still employed with the district as a teacher. I reached out to Ferrell and other members of the coaching staff today for comment and have not received a response.
Okay, so he's still a teacher, but he's not a coach. Okay, so this is why they're saying that he shouldn't be basically coaching. This is what the Freedom from Religion Satanic Foundation, Satanic Temple Undercover said. So here's the United States Courts, uscourts.gov. First Amendment, they're saying it's the First Amendment Establishment Clause, okay? Now this clause, from my understanding and the little research I've done, is a First Amendment clause so that the states won't have their own state-funded, state-governed churches. It's not to separate the church from the state. It's to it's not to separate the church from the government. It's to separate the government from the church. So the goal was not church shouldn't influence government. It's that the government shouldn't influence the church. And this has nothing to do with high schools. So it says, the First Amendment has two provisions concerning religion. The Establishment Clause, that's number one, and the Free Exercise Clause, which this falls under the Establishment Clause, which is why they're saying he got fired. The Establishment Clause prohibits the government from establishing a religion, okay? Does that look like this is what was happening? A high school coach baptizing people is establishing a religion? The precise definition of establishment is unclear. So it's like, what does establishment even mean? It meant historically, it meant prohibiting state-sponsored churches, such as the Church of England. So we don't want churches sponsored by the state. We don't want the California government, where I live, governing the church. We don't want Newsom having his own sect of churches and telling the churches what they can do and what they can't do. That's the goal of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause. And then it says, today, what constitutes an establishment of religion is often governed under three-part test set forth by the U.S. Supreme Court in Lemon versus Kurtzman. Under the Lemon test, government can assist religion only if the primary purpose of the assistance is secular, The assistants must neither promote nor inhibit religion, and there's no excessive entanglement between church and state. So there's no overreach here. They don't want the government reaching into the church, overreaching the church. This does not have nothing to do with what was happening here. And then the free exercise clause, which we won't read because that's not applicable. Sometimes the establishment clause and free exercise clause come into conflict. The federal courts have helped to resolve this. Okay, so this was a bunch of baloney. They didn't want this guy in there. They didn't want Christianity to go forth. So that's how you get fired. Here's how you don't get fired, okay? You ready for this? Now, this is in Canada, so let me be clear on this. It's in Canada, but I would not doubt this happening in the U.S., and I would not doubt this being the same. Then this is absolutely disgusting. Trans teacher known for massive prosthetic breasts returning to Canadian classroom. So this teacher was in big controversy, got put on administrative hold, and now just got rehired in Canada. Are you ready to see what this teacher looks like? So that wholesome guy who, and I'm fired up about this, like the guy lost his job for doing what God tells us to do. So yeah, it fires me up. So that guy loses his job. This guy keeps his job. You want to see what this guy looks like? Look at this. A Canadian trans teacher who became infamous for wearing massive prosthetic Z-cup breasts to class is reportedly returned to the classroom. Okay? This is a man, guys, who's saying these are natural, which obviously we know this is disgusting and not natural. And he's in school wearing this, still hired in Canada. But again, this would probably happen in the US as well. Kayla LeMay has claimed to be suffering from a condition called, which I don't even know how to pronounce that, which is a rare condition during one's breasts become excessively large. However, LeMay, how do you say that name? I don't know. Who formally identified as a man, has reportedly spotted in public without the breasts. So this man, they've said, we've seen him in public. He doesn't have these massive breasts, and he's trying to say these are natural. Does anyone here buy it that this is natural? Naturally disgusting and demonic, but not natural. This is not natural, okay? So this person was let go. Look at this. And this person's teaching kids. This person was let go and then investigated and then rehired. And this is at, like, you see kids in the back and everything. The Toronto paper wrote that the principal is also preparing special arrangements such as having students enter and exit the building using assigned doors and locking exterior doors to combat potential backlash, because people are mad about this. People are uproar. They're literally raging about this. The memo also asks parents to email or call before coming to school if they want to visit or speak to an employee because of the potential security concerns the principal didn't specifically name. But of course, people are mad about this. So people are voting on this. A poll in Toronto Sun website asked if they should be returning to high school, and 96% said no. So people don't want this guy in their school. They do not want this guy in their school, yet the school continues to let him teach. And there's tons of videos online I won't show because they're graphic, but this is just disgusting and disturbing. So that's okay. That's okay in schools. But apparently you get fired if you're baptizing people, but you could wear that and fake prosthetic Z cups and not be. This is the decline we continue to see in society. The push against Christianity, the push against all things God. We love perversion. We love evil. We love wickedness. But God forbid we have men, role models that are coaches that are saying, we're going to baptize you. We're going to be a spiritual leader. And this guy gets fired. So to me, it's sad. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know if you think this is unfair or not. I think I know what most of you think, but let me know. Comment down below if you're still watching. This is unfair. This is wrong. If you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, tell me why you don't agree with me. You think that we shouldn't be allowed to baptize people in public schools? You think that we shouldn't be able to share the faith and share the gospel? I don't know, man. This gets me riled up because I just think it's sad that people are losing their jobs and we can't even do just the basic. After practice, you guys want to get baptized? Let's baptize you and let's preach. Let me know what you think down below. Please pray about monthly partnering with us. You can do that down below in the description. All of our content is free. We're supported by you guys. We do this full time. We're crowdfunded. So you can support down below monthly. You can become a YouTube member, any of that stuff. We're live every Monday, Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And we're also live Friday at noon. And we have hundreds of hours of Bible teaching in the live tab. So go to my channel, hit the live button, and you're going to find hours and hours, 2 hours in most streams of teaching the Bible, of podcast guests, and all that good stuff. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.